Hey y'all, welcome to finally my 1 year of Nintendo Switch 2 video. Um yeah, I'm super excited. This video's been in the works for a while. Just because I was mainly kind of nervous and not ready for it, but I think I'm ready now. I'll just roll with it. I think I got enough confidence now where it'll turn out fine. But yeah, so basically I'll actually be covering a little bit before the Switch 2, when it was like first revealed up until, June 5th of this year, basically. Um so yeah, and before I get started too, thank you guys so much for the exposure you guys gave me on my Michael Jackson video. Never had a video do that well yet. It, I think it's sitting at like 123 views right now, which is big compared to like my second highest, which is 15. So that's good. More people are seeing the channel. It got a lot of likes too, and as far as I'm aware, no dislikes. It even got a comment that wasn't me. So yeah, things are going well over here. Thank you guys so much for watching my stuff. I really hope you like it and I hope I can continue on improving my content and just having more fun with it so that you guys enjoy it more. But anyway, um, yeah, so I should get started, and I'm gonna make more cuts in this video. Um, I'll do it for each game entry I have on here. So yeah, I'll get to thinking and I'll be back. All right, to start things off, I will tell you about what happened before I acquired the Switch 2. So, the very thought of the Switch 2 for me was only conceived around December or January of like last year in like 2024, 2025, yeah. When the Nintendo Switch 2 or a console that would be a successor of it was heavily rumored. And, a bunch of buzz was going around about it. And that January, it was finally revealed, and it looked awesome, man. I always thought the magnetic Joy-Cons were so cool. I like that over the sliding them up and sliding them down. Um, Really, really cool idea. So I'm glad that's a feature of the Switch too. But yeah, so that trailer came out for it, officially announcing it, all cool and dandy. So then we fast forward to April, and out comes the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct for it, showcasing more stuff about the hardware and the game lineup, basically. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, that Direct is my favorite Nintendo Direct ever. I, after I got done watching it, I was just so pumped. I was so ready for it. Um, but Yeah, so I was excited because of how, just big it was compared to the regular Switch. I mean, it makes sense because it's a next gen console, but it had much more storage. Graphically, it looks amazing. Um, there's some cool features too, like with the game chat. I knew that would kind of not be um important, but it was funny. I thought the game chat thing was really funny with like the shitty camera quality and yeah. At least they were honest about it. I appreciate it. They weren't trying to make it out to be something like spectacular. But no, what I was really more impressed by was like the first party lineup with like Mario Kart World. That game looked amazing and like Donkey Kong Bonanza. Um yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza looked fantastic, stellar, right? Um And then also Drag and Drive. I was actually really excited for Drag and Drive, low key. Um, we'll talk more about it later though, but yeah, I was excited for it. But no, the third party lineup was actually what really impressed me. I mean, we were getting some awesome games. Um, I was really excited for Hitman. I was excited for Yakuza. I was excited for um Duskbloods, that game that just got announced. I think it's exclusive to the Switch 2, or that's the plan anyway, when they announced it. But what really blew my mind, honestly, was seeing that Elden Ring would make it to the Switch 2 and probably, presumably, will run well on it. That blew my mind because I think of Elden Ring as this like really big game that not a lot of consoles, especially like in the Switch generation before, uh, could run that baby easily. But yeah, that just blew my mind. I was like, Elden Ring will be on the Switch too. I mean, it's got to be good then, right? It's definitely got to be a step up um from, I guess the Switch. But as far as I'm aware, like even right now, I'm pretty sure the Switch 2, not Switch 2 Pro, the Switch 2's quality is pretty similar to like a PS4 Pro, which is obviously really good. Especially for like a handheld device, actually, pretty impressive. But yeah, so that direct just astounded me. I remember my friend and I watched it the first time and then I rewatched it with him just to get his thoughts and, just to do it as a friend. And I mean, he was ready to get it, straight up, especially because of Mario Kart World. He's a big Mario Kart and Pokemon fan, so that's right up his alley. Um, but yeah, funnily enough, I was pretty hesitant to. It wouldn't seem like it since I'm a big Nintendo fan, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hold off because I got my retro games, I got like my Wii U, I got my Switch, I got my um 3DS, so I can continue playing a lot of games on that. I was also going to like retro video game stores and buying a lot of retro games at the time. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. I might just wait a little bit till something big comes out and then I'll get it or something like that. I think another reason was I was whole big on the you'd be kind of a not a bad person, but like they were doing some weird business practices. So it's like, okay, why would I want to get this? I think what comes to mind is like the price hike for the games, being like 70, $80, that being, insane, and some other things too that are kind of anti-consumer. So I was like, I shouldn't be supporting this, but that that more so were other people's opinions than mine, so they weren't really strong. I was just kind of echoing it a little bit as like a reason for to support what I actually thought. But I'm yapping long enough. Um, I got a day one though. The reason why was because I'm pretty sure at the time my friend and I were discussing our Pokemon Soul Link because we do one every year. It's like an annual thing. Um, if you're curious, we were doing a Soul Link of Sun and Moon. But yeah, so we were discussing that, and I think he brought up that he was gonna camp out at Best Buy to get the Switch 2 day one. And yeah, at first I was like, okay, cool. But then I really thought about it. I was like, that would actually be such a cool experience. Not only to get like a console day one, because I've never done that before, but also to be with my friend, camping out at like a store, that would be a new experience too, because I've never done that, obviously. So I was like, you know what, man, I'm actually gonna go with you. So, that was a couple days before, or yeah, and then on the day of, we get there, and actually, not him. I get there because I get off of work, and I'm driving by, and I see that there's quite a big line, and I'm like, oh shit, dude. And I think I called or texted my friend and I was like, hey, get down here as soon as possible. There's quite a bit of a line and I'm not sure if we can get, you know, a Nintendo Switch 2 bundled with Mario Kart World. So, you know, I let him know and then I got my lawn chairs out and I saved two seats for him or at least set it up. I don't think I got online quite yet. I just kind of got by it because I didn't want to be rude and just be like, I'm waiting for a friend, you know? So, um, yeah, so he came and we did our thing. We actually played our solo link during it, which was a lot of fun. I remember that a little bit. We were on the first island, not Akala. Um, Honestly, I forget the name, but Melee Melee? Yeah, I think it's Melee Melee. But yeah, we were on that battling like the trials and stuff like that. The um, what's that guy's name? Hala? Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure we were battling him. Um, no, I don't think we were actually. And forget about it. But we were playing our game, and yeah, we were just waiting for you know, it to open up. And honestly, a lot of good memories. One thing I remember is there was this guy quite a bit of ways in the back, and he was really excited. He was super pumped, like yelling, "Yeah, yeah, yeah!" Whenever like the Best Buy people would come out. But my friend thought he sounded a little high, so he called him hypotenuse, based off like that Key and Peele skit, and that was funny. We kind of uh, it kind of stuck for him that whole night. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, we had that guy and just playing our game. Eventually, my friend's brother shows up, and so he joins in too. Um, I don't think he came for the Switch 2 though. I think he came for the Pokemon cards. But yeah, enough time passes, and it turns out that even if we had gone later, we likely would have gone the bundle because they had a lot of them. So, that was real nice, but better safe than sorry, right? I don't regret asking him to come down sooner because maybe we would have missed out, right? But yeah, so that was revealed. We were super pumped, and then we just had to wait and wait until finally word got out, and yeah, we could start making our way in very slowly but surely. Um, and that's good because you don't want like a store full of like a bunch of like fanatics right away, right? You want to keep it calm and organized. So that's what happened. Um, but when we went in, it was awesome, honestly. There was a bunch of, it was like Nintendo themed, but mainly like Mario themed, if I'm being honest. So yeah, there was a bunch of like music, Nintendo music playing on like the speakers, a bunch of like pop-ups of Nintendo characters. It was really well done. So shout out to the Best Buy employees. Y'all worked hard, and that was awesome. Felt like I was in like Mario World or something, just just a little bit. But I mean, yeah, setting out were the consoles, and then like the accessories and whatnot, and also of course the Pokemon cards. I'm pretty sure I just got the Switch 2, I think an extra set of Joy-Cons, and then maybe something else. Um, but yeah, um, that's all she wrote. Um, so I went home that night and didn't get to play it till next morning because I had to go to bed for work. But I had a little time in the morning, so when I woke up and finished getting ready, I opened that baby up and I put the code in for Mario Kart World. Do I still have the sticker? I do. Nice. It's not a sticker. But yeah, this thing came with it, and you just type in the code, and yeah, you get Mario Kart World for free. Um, so yeah, type that in, let it download. I'm not sure if it fully downloaded by then, but I wasn't gonna play it anyway until I got home from work. I only had to work like a shorter shift that day, but yeah, so I do that and I just turn on my Switch, and I remember just being like, wow, it's kind of like a new console experience, just wow, this new toy. Um, yeah, I forget what it was. I think when I opened it up or turned it on, I mean, um, a screen saying like Nintendo popped up, and it looked really pretty. I'm not exactly sure, but I remember something popped up and it looked really cool. I was like, wow. But when you do it, there's like two options. You can start anew, or you can transfer your data from the Switch 1. And I actually chose to start new. Reason being is I kind of wanted like a fresh template, like a new experience with the Switch 2 rather than having all my old stuff on it as well as the new stuff. I wanted to keep them kind of separate. And I don't regret it. I think it's nice. I think another reason I did it though was because back in the day I was using my mom's email and stuff, account information for my Nintendo account. And when I got this, I was above 18. I think I was 20. Yeah. So I could, create my own account and do all that stuff, start fresh. So that was another reason I think. But yeah, anyway, um, and I open it up and, in fact, I still got a screenshot of the first day I had it. I'm not gonna show it because it's not interesting, but I was like, you know what? I'll capture this. Boom. Day one of me having the Switch too. Um, so yeah. Is there anything else I want to talk about before I talk about the games? Let me think for a second. I think everything I wanted to talk about as like a little prelude to the actual Nintendo Switch 2 experience, I got out of the way already. So, um, I guess I'll get into it. Um, so, as you would expect, after I got home from work that day, the very first game I hopped on and played was Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, the demo. I didn't play Mario Kart World quite yet. I don't know why. I think I just was browsing the eShop and I saw the demo for Captain Toad. I was like, you know what? I'll play that first instead. Just try it out. Um, and honestly, my review of it will be as short as the amount of time I played it. It was good. Anyway, I'm kidding. Um, yeah, I should definitely get the full game at some point because I actually really liked both the demo and like in like Mario 3D World when you have those little mini levels with Captain Toad. So I feel like I'd enjoy the actual game, but I mean the demo only had three levels and you could beat them lickety split. So yeah, but it was a good demo, just really short. Um, but yeah, that brings me to the other demos I played. Because for the most part, I'm going to go in chronological order of when I played them. But um, for the demos, I'll make an exception. I'll just get them all out of the way first. So I think the next one, let me see. I'm not able to move this, so I'm just going to pause it for now. All right, very cool. I have the, well, let me double check that oh, I can't move it when I'm recording. Okay. I'm pretty sure I'm recording. It said resumed. Um, but I moved it so that I can see all the names of the games I played. So very nice. But yeah, the next demo I played was actually the Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. This my favorite demo? If it's not my favorite, it's probably my second favorite. I actually had a lot of fun with this. It's a cool game. It's made by like Square Enix. Um, and it's just like is it like a 2.5D game? I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, but it definitely has like 2D graphics. Um, and it's got really nice pixel art. The gameplay feels fantastic. I like playing it. Um, got some good dungeons and like puzzles. Feels kind of Zelda-like in a way. Yeah, honestly, it is kind of Zelda-like, low key. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with the demo. So I pre-ordered when that was available. I actually pre-ordered the actual game, so maybe I think it's out now. Oh, definitely is. But yeah, it's on my Switch too right now. I think it just came out like a week ago or something. But I mean, yeah, I'll get to playing it too. Yeah, I'll get to playing it someday, hopefully. Um, but yeah, really good demo. Let me pause. All right, there we go. The next game I played was actually for the demos, Drag X Drive, the demo. And honestly, as for the demo experience, I don't remember much. I think I remember liking it, but not as much as like when the actual game came out. But I was pumped for it. The controls definitely felt weird to get used to, because you got to use like mouse controls. And if you don't have like a desk, uh, which I wasn't playing on at the time, I had it in my room, which just had a dresser. You either have to, use a desk or find some other alternative. Like I used my legs, so I would just to move forward or backwards or whatever, I would just use my legs and do this. Which doesn't feel bad, but it definitely is weird to get used to for sure. Um, but no, I think I enjoyed it. So, on to the next demo. All right, the next demo I played was Street Fighter 6. Um, Honestly, I wouldn't say I was disappointed, but I thought it'd be better. The actual game could be amazing for all I know, but the demo had me a little disappointed. It didn't feel like you could do much, and that's fine sometimes, but I was expecting a little more that I could do. Um, I remember battling with like two or three characters. I mean, that was fun, doing some little challenges. And then also like a story mode. That was probably the most memorable part because I created, you know what, let me show you because I think I do have a screenshot. You could build your own avatar and look what I created, man. Gosh, this light, turn it off. Yeah, there's too much glare. You can kind of tell what's going on there though. I need to get like a better camera. I'm just using my uh laptops or computer, I don't know what you call it. I think it's a laptop. Um, I'm using my laptop's camera. But you can tell kind of the vision and what's going on there. All right, lights on. But I'll keep this here for future reference. But yeah, I played the story mode. It was all right. Yeah. Um, didn't feel like the demo gave me much, so I wasn't real interested in buying the actual game. Let me know if I'm missing out, because it could be great. I know it's like critic scores are pretty great. They're high up there, but yeah. So the next demo I played was Persona 3 Reload's demo. Hey, um, I'm actually gonna be talking more about the demo in this video than the actual game because I already made a whole video on the actual game. Um, I would recommend you watch it, but it is a long video, so I don't blame you if you don't want to watch it. Just like this one will be a long video. But I mean, yeah, Persona 3 Reload, I was so excited because Persona is now it's in my mind it's my favorite series. At the time though, when I played it, it was definitely up there. I'm not sure if I would have said it was my favorite, but yeah, I loved Persona 5, so I was like, man, let me try out Persona 3 Reload because this was before the actual game came out. The demo came out before. And I was so impressed because you could play the whole first part of the game up until that one train boss. After you defeat that, then you're done. And that's like a good, I think it took me 12 hours to get there. So that's a good chunk of content you could play to try and see if Persona's your thing. And obviously it would be for me, but I had a lot of fun playing it, man. That was kind of when I started to fall in love with Junpei a little bit. I wasn't nearly there yet, but I could see the vision, right? But no, the demo was awesome. I had a lot of fun with it. So, yeah, I guess I should move on to the next demo, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I don't think it was the worst demo I played. It might be the second worst. I mean, the game itself is fine. I had a lot of fun playing the actual game, just racing and stuff. The problem is, the demo is for the Switch 1 version. I don't know why there isn't a Switch 2 version demo. Or is there even a Switch 2 version of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds? There definitely should be, but it ran like ass. It ran so bad. Graphically, it didn't look good. It was very slow, like frame rate wise. Um, excuse me. Um, it just, I mean, it was still enjoyable, but wasn't, you know, it had me worried for a second that the Switch 2 would not be that good, like from a performance standpoint, but I think it was just because it was the Switch 1 version and they had that in mind when they were making it. But yeah, um, yeah, did not have, you know, it had more potential, we'll say. But yeah, the next demo though. The next demo is SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide. This was the worst demo I played, I think. I can't exactly. It just felt kind of like a kid's game. We'll put it that way. 'Cause I remember, discussion about like a lot of the older SpongeBob games being like hidden gems of games or just classic video games that everyone should play, especially like Battle for Bikini Bottom. Um, so I was like, okay, I hope this game ends up being, I'll try it out, but I hope this game ends up having that same charm. And to me, it didn't really. Um, Graphically, it kind of looked a little weird. What I did like were the cutscenes. When they have those like shots of what are they called, like Ren and Stimpy shots of like the characters all like grotesque and like that. I like those. Felt like right out of SpongeBob. Not that I'm like a huge SpongeBob fan, but I'm pretty familiar with it. Um, but yeah, I just really wasn't impressed basically. It felt kind of bare bones to me. It could be a good game for all I know. Like I said, a demo's a demo, but just from its showing, not my cup of tea, I think, unfortunately. So, I mean, I still might give it a try someday. Why the heck not? You know, but yeah, we'll see. But the next demo, Kirby Air Riders. I think it was called like a test ride. So you could only play it for like a few days. It was like the same thing with like Dragon Drive. I think it was called like Global Jam or something. But it was just kind of like a free trial type thing. But kind of like a demo. So I don't know. But I liked it. I liked the demo. I thought the game, like the gameplay of it is fantastic. Like Kirby and all his friends when you drive, controls great. Plus it's got like all the beauty of like Smash Ultimate with like the UI and all, kind of like the inspiration for like the special effects and stuff like that. Especially on like the windscreens and menus and stuff. Um, but yeah, um, Masahiro Sakurai, still a legend, probably one of the best video game directors out there, if I'm being honest. He just seems really passionate about his work. So we should all inspire to be like him. Um, so yeah, yeah, it is kind of weird to glaze a man. I don't know, but he seems cool. I'd have a beer with him. But no, I had fun with Kirby Air Riders. I was really excited for the actual game to come out. So the demo did its job. So all right, and now we got two more demos left. So the next one is Werewolf, the Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest. Okay. So the reason why I played this one was because my sister's boyfriend said he was playing I think a game called Werewolf Apocalypse, not The Apocalypse. In fact, let me look it up just to fact. Actually, no. I think it was Werewolf the Apocalypse. It was kind of like this. I keep showing shit, expecting you guys to know what I'm talking about. If you can make that out, then maybe you know what I'm talking about. But look it up yourself otherwise. God, I hate to have that mentality, but I wish I could show you better. Oh, maybe I could edit it in. I didn't think about that since I'm editing this video anyway. Hmm, maybe I can do that, but I'm not sure. I'm nervous about editing, so I might just get the. We'll see. We'll see, basically. Um, I'll try to. Okay, yeah, I'll try to edit this in. But Yeah, so he was playing that game and he recommended it to me and he was like, "Okay, it's probably on Switch." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll look for it." And it didn't look like it to me, but I was like, "You know what? Maybe it's a different game in the series and I should try it out." Um, and I'm gonna show you what. Okay. Oh, I clicked pause, but that's all right. I'm gonna show you what it actually ended up being. So I think it is. Why did I pause it? It is probably made by the same studio or whatever, but it is way different than what he showed me. Here's a screenshot I took. Um, it's kind of like a very story-driven game, and your dialogue and choices matter. I don't know. Kind of eerie. I think it was supposed to be scary. It wasn't really that scary. But I remember my sister was watching me play it and she thought it was funny. And I kind of did too. It was entertaining. And by the way, this guy right here, he reminds me of Chet Holmgren. Stinky Pete. So, yeah, that game ended up being way different, but I did enjoy my time with it just because my sister was there and it was kind of fun to we weren't making fun of the game, but it it was definitely different than what we were expecting, and yeah, that was fun. But hey, the last game. This is the only demo I haven't completed. But I played a little bit of it. Octopath Traveler Zero Prologue. All right, so with this demo, I only played I think like an hour of it because I think you can play up to like 3 hours of it, which I always find that really fun because what if you're like a speedrunner and you want to play the demo and just beat it all in that demo? I think they did that with like those like brawl demos, like Super Smash Bros. Brawl. They had those games. I think there was one game a speedrunner was able to beat. I think it might have been the Ocarina of Time demo, which is absolutely insane. But anyway, it just gets me thinking about that. But I only played like or sorry, 1 hour of like the 3 hours. It's cool. I like it. Um, yeah, I think I would like it if I gave it a shot and got the actual game. But I don't know, man. I got a ton of demos. I shouldn't say a ton. I think I got like four I haven't played yet, but honestly, I have no interest in playing video game demos anymore. I mainly really played them when I wasn't buying a lot of Switch 2 games, and that could just, it'd be like a free thing to download and just play for a little bit, right? Um, but yeah. So hey, we're done with the demos now, so let's get on to the actual games. All right. So the first official game I will be talking about is Mario Kart World. And honestly, man, I'm kind of iffy on it. Disappointed, we'll say. And a lot of it comes with a large realization in that I just might not be into Nintendo the same way I was when I was a kid. And that would make sense, because I'm older, more mature. I'm gonna be into more older and mature things. I don't know. But it's just not gonna hit the same. It's not gonna have that Nintendo magic that I was used to as a kid. So I think part of it's that, but it also just might be the game too, if I'm being honest. Um, but yeah, I'll talk more about my shift towards like third party titles as, you know, not the years, but the months go on and stuff. But yeah, I did still like Mario Kart World. I did have a lot of fun with it. I mean, even right now, it is my second most played Nintendo Switch 2 game. Um, but yeah, so I guess we'll talk about it. Um, when I first played it though, it was after I got off from work, and I think I played every single track and uh got like remember the rank system in this game, like 3 stars or something like that, on each cup, and then I unlocked Rainbow Road, or the whatever cup is the last one, and that was fun. like the first experience with it was super fun because the game is just, it's got so much that's like so different from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's just like, whoa, 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 man. In like a good way. It's like, it's so different, it's so fun, everything's just coming at you. Like, one thing I remember is when you get hit by an item, you just kind of roll forward. You don't like, it doesn't feel like you stop in your tracks anymore. And I thought that was really cool. There's some other things too that I can't think of right now, but yeah. And Rainbow Road, when I first got to that track, was no exception. When I experienced it, it was amazing. I had so much fun with it. I mean, the music's incredible. The track is so pretty. The track's really fun to drive on. It's separated into like multiple different parts, like four, maybe five if you include the transition track or whatever. Um, but yeah, I probably will not forget the first time I played that and just all in one sitting after I got done from work. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, for like the first month, most of the month anyway, I was just playing Mario Kart World mainly, trying to like completionist it, complete it, we'll say. Um, I was trying to complete, the actual cups. I was trying to do the knockout tour. I was trying to do like the free roam stuff. Which by the way, that's another thing. I'm a completionist. They don't have certain things marked down. I forget what it is. I think they got the P switches marked down, and you can also find those panels, but I think it's the coins. I don't think there's any way you can keep track of the coins. Which is unfortunate, man, because I like completing games, or at least I really did like a year ago. Now not so much, but I still like trying to complete games, you know what I mean? Get like a full experience, maybe not without wasting my time. But yeah, so that was kind of like a questionable choice. Another thing was it seemed like from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, there was like a few things removed. Like the versus modes, man. It's just balloon battle and coin runners, right? Where's like the Bob-omb mode? I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. Also, where's Renegade Roundup, dude? I loved Renegade Roundup in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That was so much fun when I played that like many years ago or whatever. And there might be like another mode too, I'm forgetting. Um, is it like a Boo one? I'm not sure. But there should have been more modes, man. That would have been awesome. Um, and they also, I wasn't a big fan of like the versus mode tracks either. It kind of had like that Mario Kart, vanilla Mario Kart 8 syndrome where it just did like existing tracks, but um, actually, when I did play Mario Kart 8, I actually really like those battle tracks, low key. I know a lot of people hate them, but I maybe it's a nostalgia thing, but I really like those. But I don't know, those tracks didn't in Mario Kart World don't enthuse me as much as like a lot of the other battle tracks. But I respect the effort, because they're still pretty unique. Um, and not just some like an existing course. I mean, kind of, but with certain ones like Moo Moo Meadows and the Italy one or whatever. But anyway, and then like unlocking characters, I actually do really like it, low key. I wish they had the Kamek thing and then like maybe an alternative way of unlocking characters as well. Because I'm pretty sure the only way you can unlock characters and costumes is through food items or Kamek, using like that spell on you when you use an item. For certain characters, it was a pain to hunt. I remember, I think the bonefish took me a while. Same with the bat. Same with, oh yeah, Conch Door. Those took me a little while, but it was worth it. It was fun hunting those, but a very interesting design decision, which I will not knock on. I kind of like it. Just kind of makes it quirky. Um, but yeah, that's the thing, man. The game's kind of quirky, not in like a super weird way, but just kind of in a design way, like with the UI too, having all the characters separate from one another doesn't really bother me. It bothers like a lot of people, but it's whatever. But it is an interesting decision nonetheless, because it makes so many more like menu slots you gotta sift through. But as for the actual racing, man, probably the best Mario Kart racing ever. just like from gameplay mechanics, right? I feel like I haven't kept up with the scene in a while, but I'm pretty sure on some courses it's probably fucking mind-blowing what they're able to do now, just because of how many things you can do with the new mechanics added in this game. Um, I'm sure it's wild. I should actually check up on that if I think about it. But yeah. Is there anything else I want to talk about Mario Kart World? I think I talked long enough about it. So overall, I did have a lot of fun with it, especially with like, playing it with family and friends and stuff like that. And then a little bit solo as well. But I was a little disappointed, but it's also a well-known fact. For some reason, Mario Kart as a series, it kind of grows on me more later on. Like I think every single game I can think of, I appreciate more now than I did when I was first playing it. Mario Kart DS is a big example. I liked it but didn't fuck with it that much when I was a kid, but dude, it's probably my favorite Mario Kart game now. I low key go back to it and try to complete it. Um, but there's a lot of games I want to do that too, so I don't know when that will happen, but um yeah, and like Mario Kart Wii, kind of the same thing, but less so. Mario Kart 8, I just kind of have that weird thing where I just appreciate it more later on. So, maybe I'll be wrong about you, and I'll appreciate you much more in the future. Oh yeah, another thing. I don't have any physical copies of Switch 2 games. They are all on my Switch 2. I think the reason why was because of game key cards and physical game prices. I'm not sure. I think it was mainly the game key cards though. Um, and I just wanted to keep everything consistent, so I was like, you know what? I'll just get everything on the Switch 2 itself. So yeah. All right. Next one. So the next game I played, I actually got a lot of fond memories of this one. Backyard Baseball 97. Um, yeah, I discovered this when I was browsing the eShop. I saw something like it and I was like, wow, man. Because I remember this game back when I was watching Twitch streamers for a little while. I had a little phase. I'd only really watch like smaller streamers, which was great because you got more of like a community feel. They would actually respond to what you were saying, yada yada yada. Basically smaller creator, closer community. And I thought that was real nice, but I didn't watch Twitch streamers for very long. But when I did, there was this one guy, and he was playing Backyard Baseball 97, and I, recognized that game. I was like, man, I got to get this game. It seems like a lot of fun. So I loaded it up and created my team. We were the Red Rockets. My favorite color is red, that's why. No other reason. Um, but I immediately remembered some of the characters he was using because they were good. I had Pablo Sanchez, Pete Wheeler, Keisha Phillips, Ahmed Khan, and Kenny Kawaguchi on my team. He was like the pitcher, of course. Um, and then to round it out, I just kind of picked people I liked visually or just stat wise or whatever. I added Tony Del Vecchio, Billie Jean Blackwood, um, Dmitry Petrovich, and Dante Robinson, and that was the team, man. And they were the best little league team ever. We only lost our first game and third game. I think the first game we lost to the Wombats, and the second game we lost to like the Fishes. I don't know what the adjective was to describe them, but I know for sure. Oh, I think it was the Junior Wombats and the Orange Fishes. I'm not sure. Let me fact. Never mind. I don't think I can, but yeah. Um, After that, man, we went undefeated. Even in the playoffs, we won every single game afterwards. Um, I remember early on when I wasn't good at the game, Tony Del Vecchio kept selling, bro, especially in the outfield. I was so pissed. I think I switched up his position, so I think I made him like I don't know what I made him, but yeah, he was losing us games early on, I think. Oh, and I forgot. I guess we lost another game. we'll say game zero because it was the Junior Wombats game, but it didn't save for some reason, so I had to redo it, and then I just lost it again. But after that, man, went undefeated. This team was crazy good, man. Um, my best players were obviously uh, the ones from that stream. So Pablo Sanchez, Pete Wheeler, Keisha Phillips, and Ahmed Khan. Um, Pablo, Keisha, and Ahmed because of their hitting abilities. Pete Wheeler just because he could get on base easily and because he was so fast. And then like I think they were pretty decent fielders too. Like uh, I think Keisha had like a strong arm, so I made her like a third base woman. I think Pablo Sanchez was pretty good in the outfield, so I had him there. Ahmed, I think I had him on one of the bases. I'm not sure. And then Pete, I think, what I have him as? I think I had him as a second baseman. So I think I had Ahmed maybe as the catcher. Um, but I don't remember. Maybe no, I think Keisha was the catcher and Ahmed was the third baseman. That seems right to me. And then Kenny was the pitcher. I think Dante Robinson was left field. I think Tony was actually right field. Billie Jean Blackwood, first baseman, base woman, I should say. Kenny Kawachi, pitcher. I think I already covered everyone. So yeah, that was where everyone. Oh, Dimitri, he probably was shortstop. Maybe it was the other way around. I think Pete Wheeler was shortstop. Dimitri was second baseman. But yeah, man. Anyway, we were unstoppable. We beat everyone in our path once we figured out our rhythm. We were kind of like the Knicks, man. Let's be honest. Um, great knows great. But no, man. I had so much fun with Backyard Baseball 97. I played one season, but it was so much fun. I was so into it. I really felt like their manager or coach or whatever. I even had like stats or like MVPs of each game or whatever on my phone. It's in my notes somewhere. I won't show it, but I already told you what my best players were. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next game now. Basically, I was playing backyard baseball while I was waiting for Donkey Kong Bonanza. So let's talk about that. Um, You know, nostalgia for the most part takes a long time for it to, um, make its way to your brain or whatever. I got a little bit low key for like the early Switch 2 era. So like, Mario Kart World, Backyard Baseball, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Dragon Drive, which I'll talk about next after Bonanza. But yeah, those games I got a lot of nostalgia for because that was like the early Switch 2 era for me. But yeah, so for Donkey Kong Bonanza, man, like I said, I was disappointed in it, honestly. I was really hoping it'd be that game because I knew it was made by Super Mario Odyssey's creators, I should say, and that is one of my favorite games ever. So I had really high hopes for this game, um, but they didn't deliver, unfortunately. I had my fun with it. I'd say my main gripes were I don't think the gameplay loop was for me. It's a lot of destroying stuff. That doesn't really tickle my brain that much. Maybe it will in the future. I really hope like in the future I enjoy every single thing ever. You know, good or bad, just be happy with everything. If only. But maybe it'll come someday. You can hope. But I mean, yeah, so for Donkey Kong Bonanza, it's that, and I also found the game to be quite easy. Certain parts weren't, and those I had a lot of fun on, like those boss challenges towards the end, like in the first-ish area, um, that later you can use gold or whatever to create like boss rushes or whatever. That was a lot of fun. It was pretty challenging, and I feel like with, how well um, the game is from like a game design standpoint and you know the mechanics and all that, it suits higher difficulty pretty well. Um, I do respect the creativity of a lot of levels though. I really like those levels where you destroy terrain to get like those ice cream things down. Just build paths for that and solve puzzles that way. Those were really cool. Um, and yeah, stuff like that I found enjoyable. But yeah. But man, this game is actually really impressive in that it's got a lot of really cool stuff though, I'll admit. For starters, the game just looks really good. Really, really beautiful game to look at. Destroying stuff, even though it doesn't really tickle my brain, it's a lot of fun. Everything's so good. Controlling the character, that's what the studio of that made Super Mario Odyssey in this game does best, or it's like their magnum opus. Um, it's maybe not what they're known more for, but in my opinion, it's what they do best. They make controlling your character and like the weird, fun, gimmicky stuff they can do so enjoyable. Like in Super Mario Odyssey, using Cappy and like the captures, super fun, super well done. Controlling Mario, really fun. In this game, it's like destroying stuff, punching down, punching up, using like the Bonanza abilities. Actually, I'm pretty critical of those, but like that one move, like the turf surf, really fun to grab something and then just like fling it around or surf on it or do whatever. Like movement wise, that's what they do best. But yeah, with the Bonanza abilities, I think my favorite aesthetically is the zebra one. I also like the music to it too. But they only last a short while, and I really wish they had a mode where you could just use them without having to spend energy. It is pretty easy to gain like energy or gold back, but still, I really wish you could keep them around for longer. That would be a lot of fun, just you know, as like a little sandbox type thing. You know what I mean? But the story's great. I love the ending of the game with King K. Rool. I think I did get spoiled ahead of time, but even then, man, it was just so fun. I like when you beat him in that boss battle and then it seems like it's done, but just like in the original Donkey Kong Country, the credits roll and something's off about them. They're King K. Rool's minions and stuff. It's like, wait a minute, they didn't make that game. What's going on? And then King K. Rool comes back from the dead, going rah rah rah, and then the music plays for Gangplank Galleon, and that cool, it was so cool, going up, him just trying to knock you down, just that whole boss battle before the actual boss battle. That was like the coolest part of the game in my opinion. I had so much fun playing that section. Um, so yeah, the wow factor was there. Um, and yeah, but it still was disappointing because I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. And that's sad. I feel like high expectations, when they are achieved, it's amazing. But I definitely find myself enjoying games more when I have lower or normal expectations for it and then they just uh, exceed them. You know, I think having higher expectations for something actually kind of ruins it in a way. Even if you do even if it does reach your expectations, it could have been better if you had lower expectations. But, it's something you can't really control, unfortunately. That's kind of how I feel with the older Zelda games. I can talk about those later, though. But, yeah, because people always say how good they are. I play them and, yeah, I get disappointed. So maybe that's what's happening too. I have way too high expectations for the Switch 2 games, main party, or mainline that come out, right? First party. There you go. But yeah, and there's also DLC. I haven't really touched that yet. Maybe I will someday, but I did complete the main game 100%. So yeah, um, that's what I did from like July to like October-ish, I think. So yeah, kind of off and on depending on what games I were playing, but yeah. So o- overall, Donkey Kong Bonanza is still a really good game. And I don't want to discredit it that much because it is, at the end of the day, still a really well-made game. But I was, a little disappointed still, and that's got to count for something. Not sure if it's the game's fault or if it's mostly me, but yeah. All right, let's talk about the next game. All right, we have Drag X Drive. Dude, this is honestly the most underrated Switch 2 game, in my opinion, that I've played. I remember people knocking on this. Even now, people don't think it's a good game. I think it's a wonderful game. Um, I would say it's probably like an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 game even. Um, it's really not as bad as people say. I recommend you play it. Here's why. So, for starters, I'll admit I'm a little biased. I'm a big basketball guy. That's probably part of it. Just playing basketball in such an intuitive and different way is just really cool to me. It's like basketball and like skateboarding combined. But yeah. So the gameplay itself is super fun. I was starting to get pretty good too. I could like break real quick and turn around real fast. Uh, I learned like a lot of the tricks to get you more points, except like the really complicated ones. I didn't, I practiced those but couldn't quite get that down, um, at the time. I'm sure if I practice now, just more repetition, I could, but, um, I also learned like how to line yourself up in order to get that like perfect shot so that it goes in every single time. So the gameplay is so fun and like playing against others, like playing defense and just like knocking the ball out of their hands because it's like wheelchair basketball. So, um, but yeah, no, the game plays super fun itself. I actually really like the aesthetics too. They're plain, but like it's got its charm, you know what I mean? I really like the way it looks. I also like the character customization. Like you can, customize your color and your like character's head. Um you could also be like a guard, a forward, or like a center. I think that's really cool as well. They give you those options. Um, but yeah, and the motion controls, they feel nice. They're a little weird, like I said earlier, but once you get used to them, they're not terrible. Um, but one thing I really appreciate about it is, I was trying to 100% complete it, right? By doing all those like park challenges or whatever. Um, they really teach you through those challenges, like the mechanics of the game. And I think it's so cool. Like with the jump rope one, I was struggling with that a little bit because I didn't know how to jump correctly all the time. But once I completed the jump rope, I could actually jump pretty consistently just because it taught me that through. Oh, someone's calling me. It was my stupid mother. I'm kidding. Um, but yeah, it taught me how to jump real well. Um, so yeah, and there was also this one where to get like to the hardest challenge of the game with like the hardest CPU or whatever, you got to learn how to like platform, and that was really fun because to access it, you gotta like it kind of reminds me of like Super Mario Sunshine where you got to do some stuff before getting to the actual level, but in a less bullshitty way, just more challenging. But anyway, so you would try to like go up these platforms. I think you do like hops, and you just have to get up on the platform to access the hardest level. And that's, kind of like a true test, you know what I mean, of your skill. And I think that's cool. Stuff like that, just teaching you how the game works through challenge and mastering the mechanics that way. I think that's a really cool design philosophy, which they executed well. And then playing online against other people, super fun. Sometimes you get some teammates that don't do anything, but that just makes like a carry job all the more fun. Or like if you do play against or play with good teammates, that makes it also fun because you can pass, you can do cool passes, you can do cool tricks, some like alley-oop stuff, you know what I mean? And just like good communication. It's really fun. I To the people hating it, you either haven't played it or it's just simply not your cup of tea, which is fine, but don't knock it until you try it because I really like Drag and Drive. I'm not even sure if that's how you say the name. Drag X Drive or probably Drag and Drive or maybe Drag Drive. I'm not sure, but it's a lot of fun, man. Don't let that take away from the actual game's merits. Um, I highly recommend you play this game unless the lobbies are dead nowadays. I would not be surprised, unfortunately. But yeah, one of my favorite games I played, um, I guess the first year of my Switch 2 experience, so I got to give it that. All right, next game. All right, next game is Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac. Um, I was really excited for this game before it came out, and it delivered. It's really fun. This game is what I call, it's kind of like a side chick game, all right? So it's not the main game I focus my attention on, but if I need like a gap filler between games I've played, if I complete a game and need something else to play while I find a new game as like my main game, I got that one. Or if I just want to hop on it once in a while, I can do that too. So Pac-Man World 2 Repack is an example of that. The first example of such. I haven't completed it yet. It's a fairly challenging game. It's actually, no, I'd honestly say it's pretty challenging if you're trying to like 100% complete every level, like I do. I'm stuck on a submarine one. It's really easy to complete normally, but to do all the challenges and stuff, not so much. So I'm stuck on that one. I haven't played it in a while though. Probably earlier this year was the last time I played it. But I should definitely go back to it and complete it sometime because Pac-Man World 2 Repack's really fun. You know, um, the two things to know are the actual levels, which you play. They're really fun, lots of really good platforming. Um, and then like the time trials and like the challenges you complete afterwards. They also got like a cool leaderboard of like time, so you can compare yourself to other people from around the world. Um, but yeah, it's really fun to go through the levels as quick as you can, like speed run them, but for, you know, not so much for like actual speed running, but just to complete the game, you know what I mean? Um, and so yeah, I think you get rewards too by doing that, like costumes and stuff. So that's an incentive there. But also the boss battles in the game, I actually really like. They're kind of, the game's humor or just style, it's pretty wacky. Um, and I like it. The boss battles are pretty cool. I think my favorite so far is the spider with like the drums and you have to battle it that way. Um, but yeah, no, this game's a really fun platformer. I highly recommend it. It's also got like a Sonic crossover thing with like DLC. You can play like some Sonic inspired levels, I'm pretty sure, which is really cool. Um, but no, this game has a lot of charm. I think it's a remake of, or like remaster, whatever you call it, of a like probably like a PlayStation 2 game of, Pac-Man World 2. Let me fact check. Yeah, yeah, yeah. PlayStation 2, Xbox. That makes sense because PlayStation 1's like very polygonal. It wasn't quite that. But no, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It's very different from the Pac-Man every one knows and loves. And oh yeah, there's like a little arcade where you can play like Pac-Man type games, like the original. You can play like a Pac-Man maze game that's like in the style of Pac-Man World 2 Repack. There's also some other Pac-Man arcade games too. Um, but no, it's really fun. I highly recommend this game. It's you not only get Pac-Man World 2 Repack basically, but you get like the old Pac-Man as well and all those classics. So I think that's really cool they bundled that with it. Not sure if it was in the original, but yeah. So I highly recommend this game. Please play it. But all right, now on to the next game. All right. Super Mario Galaxy 2. This is the last game I'm disappointed by. Um, and I honestly shouldn't be. Super Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite games of all time. Like Super Mario Odyssey, but even more so. A lot of the nostalgia has welled up or dried up just because I think about it a lot, or I used to think about it a lot. Maybe it's kind of like a passage of time thing, though. Maybe because that's been something I've been thinking about. I think some games, while great at the time, kind of lose that status when you play more modern games and are exposed to that stuff because then stuff like that back in the day just seems less impressive, even though it is for the time, you know what I mean? Like when I played Super Mario Galaxy as a kid, I never played anything like it. It was just a mind-boggling experience. It sucked me right into the TV playing it. Um, and Super Mario Galaxy 2 was also the same way as a kid because I had rented it from like Family Video when I was around. Um, and I played, I think I made it to like World 4 around like Chomp Works and Starshine Beach. Probably not much further than that, if I'm being honest. But it was magical as a kid. Both those games were. But when I played Super Mario Galaxy 2 now, I got a little bit of that hit, but as besides that, it was just 3D platforming. Still fun, but I think the novelty at that point just wore off for me. Um, and that's not really the game's fault, you know. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of weird because this game, I would say, is like one of the best video games ever created. I can just say that from not an objective standpoint, but just kind of, if there were to be an objective view of it, then yes, I would. But I don't know. A lot of that magic just kind of wore off. So when I was playing it, I was expecting like a lot of stuff to happen to bring me back to those good old days or something. But just never really hit me. I still had a lot of fun with it. It's still one of the best games I played this year. But yeah, it could have been so much more. Yeah, but I yeah, I don't know. Um it I don't even really know what to say, man, because it's not the game's fault at all. It's just kind of like a passage of time thing or maybe a me thing for exposing myself to Mario and stuff like that for so long. It just doesn't it's not like the first time you play it, you know what I mean? Um Maybe it's also because of how samey it is to the original Super Mario Galaxy, where that doesn't help with the novelty thing either. But anyway, for the game itself, yeah, one of the best games ever created, hands down. I mean, if I had to pick a game with the best soundtrack of all time, this would definitely be up there. Both the Galaxy games, of course, Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2. The soundtracks are just amazing. The games themselves look beautiful, especially with like the HD upgrade on the Switch 2. Looks awesome. The colors are so vibrant and all that. Um, the controls are great. They're kind of weird. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of slow, but it's still a lot of fun. I love the gravity mechanics, of course. The power-ups in Galaxy 2 are great. Also, the platforming's amazing, as in like pretty much every Mario game. The story's pretty good for a Mario game. Yeah, man. I mean, it's got the recipe for a magical game experience, yet I was disappointed somehow. Um, but no, man, that's not the game's fault. Objectively speaking, maybe the best game I played this year. Subjectively, though, I feel a lot different, unfortunately. That's something I gotta think about and figure out more. Maybe I'll do a Think Aloud Thursday on it. Who knows? But yeah, as for Super Mario Galaxy 2, uh, great game. Just feel a little differently on it. So, all right, on to the next game. Hey, one more thing I wanted to mention. I actually experienced a game-breaking glitch when playing Super Mario Galaxy 2. It was only during one playthrough, but I was playing uh what's it called? Spin Dig Galaxy? Is that what it's called? I'm not sure. But I was playing one of the Green Star levels, I think, as Luigi, and I went through a pipe and I would go through it. I would appear upside down. Luigi would disappear then, and then for a while just nothing, and then a weird like doo-doo-doo sound, and then like a blue screen, and then I hear Luigi go wah, and then just die. And it just kept happening over and over again. Even when I closed the game out and went back in, and did it all over again, it just kept happening. So for a short while, I could not 100% complete the game. But the next day, the next day, I did the same thing and everything was fine. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I do have it saved on my Switch too. So I might show it to y'all eventually, and y'all internet detectives can maybe figure it out. But you know, curious and curiouser. But yeah, next game. The next game is Pokemon Legends Z-A. I didn't play much of it for, yeah, definitely for Pokemon games because I usually play through the whole thing, but I made it to the part where you battle the three main elemental Pokemon. So you fight like the Mega Victory Bell and then like one for fire, one for water. Right. I made it to that part and I kind of stopped there. Um, Yeah, when I first tried it out, I was actually really impressed. I was like, wow, this game looks awesome. Like like the first 2 hours or whatever I played of it that night. I still remember that night because I remember I made myself some like scented tea and also was sipping that while playing it. And I'm pretty sure this was back when I was in college, so it was a treat to play video games when I had time to. Um, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with it like that first day. And then afterwards, I still had fun with it, but it didn't really captivate me like a lot of other Pokemon games do. And that might be because of its different battle mechanics. I think my favorite type of battle mechanic is like turn-based stuff. I really like turn-based RPGs, JRPGs. I'm pretty sure JRPGs, if I had to pick, would be like my favorite video game genre. But yeah, um, it was different, but I still liked it. But um, honestly, I wouldn't say it's a bad game. It's, but it's far from perfect. It just, I don't know. Um, I still had my fun with it though. Don't get me wrong, but definitely not near the best Pokemon game I've ever played. Still pretty decent though. Like I said, I enjoyed it, and I might complete it someday too, just because I'm a big fan of Pokemon. But as of right now, I'm gonna hold off on it, and yeah, I'm gonna see if there's any other thoughts I have on it real quick. Nah, that's pretty much it. Um, next, Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. Um, this game's dope, honestly. Um, but I did see a lot of videos about how kind of AI slopified this game was. They heavily used AI. They also made some weird decisions. Especially one part I remember is like the music. The music used to kind of be like as the battle goes on, the music changes and adjusts to how epic feeling the battle is, or like, it gives you a sense of progression. But in the remake, it's just the same soundtrack, you know. Um, and yeah, I don't know why they did that. Plus, like the AI upscaling, I don't really care if it's made with AI. It just, well, maybe I don't know if I do. I have to think about that more. But um, yeah, I don't really have any problems with the game for it. I just find it funny. But when I did play it, I had a lot of fun. I haven't put a lot of hours in it, maybe like 3 or 4. But it reminds me of the good old days back in daycare when my friend had Plants vs. Zombies on the DS, and I'd play co-op with them, and we'd battle each other. But no, Plants vs. Zombies itself is super fun. So I guess I recommend it in a way. Plants vs. Zombies, definitely play it. It's still got the charm of the old game too. Um, I like when you go to the help section, there'll be a note by the zombies telling you that the way to win is to do nothing and get eaten by the zombies. That humor's pretty funny. Um, but yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. I mean, in general, the theme is that the more I play it, the more things I have to say about it. So, yeah, since I didn't play it very much, I guess I don't have as much to say about it. All right, speaking of which, next game is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I legit only played an hour of this. Not because it's bad, but I mean, I had a lot of fun, low-key. I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed like the Hyrule Warriors. I forget what the game genre is called. Um, it's based on um, a certain type of game, something Warriors, like Dragon Warriors. I could definitely be wrong, but yeah, there's just hordes of enemies, and you just attack them. you're like this overpowered character and you just go through hordes of enemies. I was surprised at how fun that was. You know, I only played as like Zelda and that one dude and maybe the lady as well. But because I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet, so I don't remember their names. I should definitely one day though, and I'm pretty sure I will. So, but not anytime soon. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. The battling's fun. The story seems pretty all right, maybe even good. Yeah, we'll see. The story looks good. It looks interesting. But I only played like an hour of it, so that's all I can give you. Kirby Air Riders. I didn't play this for very long either. Maybe around 5 hours, but like I said, there's so many good games out there, man. It's like I wish I could play all of these for like an extensive amount of time, but alas, I only got so much time on this earth. But Kirby Air Riders is a really fun one. I really only play it with my sister when she's over, but now we play other games, so it's been a while since I touched it. Um, but no, Kirby Air Riders, man. Like I was saying before, it controls great. I love racing in it. Not only that, but the stages are so beautiful and so fun to go through. I also really like unlocking things. It's kind of addictive, just playing through the game and just unlocking stuff. It's like it makes you want to play more. You know what I mean? I like the roster too. It's very unique. Got a lot of cool Kirby characters. Um, but yeah, man. I also, did I play the online mode yet? I'm not sure if I have. I should play that city trial mode. Um, Man, I don't think I did. I should give it a try someday. But yeah, man. And I like how the vehicles are different too. Um, like it's not just like in Mario Kart how they're all pretty much the same, just with a few differences, which do matter, don't get me wrong, but Um, like in this game, there's like really fast ones that are really light and like fly really well or whatever, and there's some that like are really heavy, have like special mechanics to them, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm misremembering how um those because I'm trying to think of specific vehicles. I'm probably misremembering how those work, but I was thinking of like that the Dark Star or whatever, like Meta Knights, and then also like uh the thing DDD rides on. I think it's like that wheel with like the eye, or it's got like the engine or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Hopefully you do, but I like how there's so much variety with the vehicles too. I think that's really cool. And yeah, Masahiro Sakurai's the GOAT, man. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. But yeah, I didn't play it for very long, like you said, but I enjoyed my time with it for sure. So yeah, next game. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Um, didn't play this for long either. Maybe 1 or 2 hours. Um, I had fun with it. Um, it's very interesting though, because I love playing games where the um control scheme is very different than what I'm used to. This is one of them. Like going around with like the left stick and then like aiming with the right, plus some like other stuff too that I can't remember. Very different than what I'm used to, and because of it, I suck. But it is challenging, and that's good. It helps me learn, and challenging stuff is fun, even if it can get frustrating. But I remember that, and I also remember how pretty it looks. It honestly looks really pretty. Um, but yeah, the combat seems fun, and I only made it to. I think I just made it to that tower, and I just activated it and got to like the very top with like that deity or whatever. I think that's pretty much the beginning of the game, right? So I got to that point and then I left off there. So, maybe I'll give it another shake soon. We will see. But yeah, um I did enjoy my time with it. Like I said, with pretty much every game so far that I haven't played a lot of hours in. But no, it seems like a good game to me. I remember though, there was a lot of drama with like the Miles McKenzie guy and like the millennial humor of the game. Um, I I wonder if I'll find that ironically charming or if it'll drive me crazy if I do go through with playing the rest of the game. But yeah, can't wait to see. All right, here's one I can talk a little more about. Luigi's Mansion. This was around the time when I first purchased the Nintendo Switch Online subscription. I think to play like online games or just to have those old games on my system. And the first one I played was Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. Um, and dude, I'm starting to realize that while modern video games are great, older video games had much more charm and personality, man. There's like a certain je ne sais quoi to them. You know what I mean? Like even playing today, I was doing like the DK challenge, even playing like the old Donkey Kong Country challenges on there. You get to see like how much charm and personality and humor these games had. You could tell they were made with passion, and that's awesome. And Luigi's Mansion is no exception. Um, I mean, the ghost, I love the personalities of the ghost. They're like different occupations, different people. Like one of the boss battles is a giant baby. Isn't that pretty cool? And you also battle like what are some other notable ghosts? Ghosts. There's like a guy playing pool, I remember. There's like this bodybuilder. There's like those creepy twins. There is like what do you even call it? Oh yeah, there's like the Mr. Bones, while not like a boss. It's just kind of like a weird ghost that you find in the garden and maybe some other place is. Um, I like the King Boo boss battle at the end. Um, it's really dope. How he just like hops inside like a Bowser costume. Really weird. It kind of reminds me of Mario Party 8 in that one Bowser level. Um, but anyway, the boss battle's fun, kind of challenging for me as well. Like the game's kind of challenging if I'm being honest. Just kind of though. Um, I don't think I had too much trouble with it though. I don't think I had to look anything up as far as I'm aware. But maybe I did. You know what? Maybe I did at the beginning. Because I remember one room I was kind of stuck in. So either I figured it out on my own after a while, or yeah. But no, the boss battle was super fun. All the boss battles were. Just the whole gameplay design. The game has so much charm to it. I was like when you get to that like astral room and like you walk on that path and everything's like all starry and stuff, I was like, wow, man, this game's incredible. And it honestly is, man. I recommend you play it. It's short and very sweet. Um, EGAT's pretty cool, and yeah, it's nice to revisit it because as a kid I played it on my GameCube, but I didn't have a memory card, and so every time I would play it, I would get stuck at some point, quit, and then have to do it all over again. You know what I mean? In fact, I don't think I ever made it out of like the foyer, I think it's called, like the very first part of the game. I didn't know how to get out of there, so I would just play that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go poop. I gotta poop. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion has its charm. Also the music and certain moments of the game are actually really creepy. I wouldn't say scary, but kind of unsettling, but in a good way, you know. And that's what give it its or that's what gives it its charm. So yeah, overall, put Luigi's Mansion on your retro game bucket list because it's wonderful. A very interesting game for sure. Um, but yeah, next game. All right, the next one is Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Fun fact, I completed this game on December 31st. And by this game, I just mean Bowser's Fury. The main game, I only played that with some friends, and we made it to maybe World 4, I think. Maybe even World 5 now I think about it. I think we made it to World 5, and then just haven't played since. Um, but no, it's fun. Um, Actually, Super Mario 3D World's one of my favorite games ever. But what we're here to talk about is Bowser's Fury, because I actually had never played that, because I'm used to the Wii U and then playing the Switch version with one of my other friends, which was more memorable the second time around, and more fun, even though playing with my siblings back in the day was also really fun. Um, that playthrough I played with my friend is what made it one of my favorite games ever. Because probably that and my old playthrough, you know what I mean? But Bowser's Fury itself I had never played, and I'm glad I did. It's pretty short, but it's a lot of fun, man. It's open world like. It would be really cool if the next 3D Mario's like Bowser's Fury, low key. But yeah, so I was pretty impressed with how um the levels were designed, man. The levels seemed to have like a lot of thought put into them for like a side mode and for like a Switch 2 version of a game, or not Switch 2, a Switch version of a game, right? Um, and yeah, man. But for starters, I think it's really cool you get to beat up, not beat up. I'm starting to lose steam, but that's all right. I'm gonna keep trucking on. Um, it's cool how you get to team up with Bowser Jr. To defeat his dad. I think that's funny. But yeah. And then actually playing the levels in this world and interacting with just whatever is really, really fun. It's a lot of really fun platforming. The power-ups are cool. They're like literally the same as the main game, but used in this context. But I guess really I don't have much more to say about it. It's just fun Mario stuff, right? Oh yeah, the boss battles are pretty cool. You like battle as like a giant Mario against like an evil, corrupted, paint like Bowser, and you oh that's another thing. I'll continue this train of thought. Um, you battle that, and I think it's cool how like certain there's like certain stuff that are um let me try to I can't think of the word for it, but like there's like things that fall out of the sky and when you're giant, you can pick them up and then throw them at Bowser. I think that's really cool. Just using that as like a projectile or like just ground pounding on giant Bowser as giant Mario. That's pretty cool as well. Just those like Attack on Titan type fights, really cool. Maybe that's not the way to describe it because Attack on Titan's more like little guy and then really big guy, but anyway, I also think it's cool how not just the boss fights you see Bowser appear, but throughout the normal gameplay, after a little while, his shell will go up and away, and then it's like this dark world, and then you have to like seal Bowser away somehow. I actually kind of forget how you do it, but I'd remember if I thought about it more for sure, but on the spot, I don't. But anyway, yeah, I recommend Bowser's Fury. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty short, but I'm sure most people would have a lot of fun with it. So, yeah. All right. Now we are talking about another one of my favorite games of all time. Definitely top 10. Um, I replayed The Walking Dead Telltale or Telltale's Walking Dead season 1. Um, I mean, the game is still incredible. Like I said, with like the novelty of it, didn't hit nearly as hard as like my first. I actually didn't play it up until this time though, because the first time I played it was through a Let's Play video of PewDiePie. I watched him play through the entire game, and I mean, it works just as well because the game is just heavily narrative and story driven, so it would have the same rhetorical effect, right? Um, but yeah, man, one of the greatest games ever made, in my opinion. And replaying it, kind of felt unnecessary in a way. I don't think I saw this game in like a new light or anything. Rather, I just finally got to play it for a first time and got to experience the gameplay, which nothing crazy at all. Like I don't feel like I gained, like I said, a new perspective or anything, but yeah. Um, Lee is still my favorite fictional character ever. Actually, Junpei is now starting to compete with him. It's like these guys are on the same level. It's either Junpei or Lee. But yeah, I mean, shit, this game made me cry. Um, like a bitch when I was a kid. Um, yeah, and Clem's also up there too. She might be my favorite female character of all time, just in any media. So yeah, as you can tell, this game had a huge impact on me. But as for this playthrough, like this year, not much I can really say. I guess what I will talk about is the DLC. Um, I never really experienced that. It's all right. Or actually, I think I did. I did. but I didn't remember it too well. But yeah, so so the first one with Vince, that was all right. I think I chose to save. I think I saved the pedophile, but I left the worst person or whatever out. I don't know. Um, the second one, I think I left the car after losing rock, paper, and scissors. Uh, that one was the humor of that was kind of cringe. I'm not gonna lie. It was like attempted stoner humor, I think. Um, I didn't, I wasn't really enjoying it that much. In a way, I was just kind of like ironically. But the third one was my favorite by far. I love the one with Russell and Nate. I really love the dialogue with them. Uh, those two guys like fucking hated each other, but were working together for whatever reason. I still don't understand, but just because Nate's a psycho and Russell needed a ride, pretty much. Um, but yeah, I liked that one just because of their dynamic. I thought they were really funny together, so that was very enjoyable. And then the fourth one, but that was the worst one in my opinion. Just I don't know. It just didn't do much for me. Um, yeah, you like accidentally kill this one lady, and then yeah, it's weird though because like she gets mad at you for it, but if you don't attack her, I mean she'll kill you or like knock you out or whatever, and that's like a game over. So I don't know what gives, but I think that's the worst one in my opinion. Um, but then you got the last one. That's probably the second best. It's like the longest one, I think, but you get to see some cool stuff. You get to see like the cancer survivor group from the fourth episode. Um, and you know, I think in mine, I actually killed off one of the members by letting the guy go, like the hostage or whatever. I think that's what happened. But, you know, at the very end, I chose to drive away instead of staying. Um, and that was really cool. I don't regret that. Just drive away, run away from, I forget what that guy's name is, but yeah, that was a cool scene. But overall, it was all right. The best episode was easily the Russell one. Otherwise, just meh, just a meh experience. But yeah, so that's really all I have to say. The Walking Dead, basically this playthrough, my third playthrough-ish, second, of like actually, what am I trying to say? This is the first time I actually played the whole game for myself. So that counts for something, but as for how I feel about the game afterwards, probably the same as before I even played it. So yeah, but still one of the best games ever made in my opinion. All right, next we got Super Mario Galaxy. I literally just played this game just to kind of like speed run it, just go as fast as possible, and then I kind of got sick of it. Um, but yeah, like I said, like the novelty of the Mario Galaxy series, like at the time, man, so much charm. I loved it so much. But I think because I experienced it so many times, it just doesn't do anything to me. Like I feel almost sick playing it. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, like I said, it's not the game's fault. This is like really high up there, easily top five favorite game of all time for me. But yeah, I basically just speed ran it. Um, Not much, and I didn't even complete it, man. I made it maybe like 3 hours in or something, and then just got done with it. But yeah. But no, Super Mario Galaxy is great. I just simply played it to go through it as fast as possible. But all right. The next one is Persona 3 Reload. Um, I don't have anything to say about this. Just watch my other video if you want to know how I feel about it. Um, I will say this game will probably end up in my like top 15 all time. I really enjoyed my playthrough of this game, and it's definitely my favorite game I played this year. If I had to pick my MVP of this year, definitely Persona 3 Reload. Um, which has me curious what it'll be next year. Maybe it's going to be Metaphor ReFantasio when that comes out. Just a bunch of Atlas stuff. Um, I know I'm cheating, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. So, moving on. All right, guys, yippee. We are now halfway through the list. I think it's gonna go by quicker here, probably maybe an hour more at most, because a lot of these games I only played for a little while. But yeah, so next up we have Fortnite. I actually played quite a bit of Fortnite to be honest. Um, I got a little bit of a history with it, of course. It's one of those games that I just keep coming back to after um maybe every few years or something. The first time I played it was when it first came out for the Switch. So that would have been like chapter 1, season 4, season 5. And that was a lot of fun, man. It was just simple, good Fortnite fun. Um, you know, OG Fortnite, right? Um, the next phase of me playing it was around not during COVID, but a little before COVID, like that school year. And I played that during Chapter 2, Season 1 and Chapter 2, Season 2. And that was arguably more fun. I think that was probably the most fun era of Fortnite I experienced. At least for like a long period, because I think I hopped on every once in a while, maybe to play like one game or something. I remember one season where there was like a kind of like a pirate theme, I think. I'm not sure, but I think my favorite season was probably Chapter 2, Season 2. I really like the spy stuff. Either that or maybe Chapter 2, Season 1. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I had that, and then my next phase is the current one, or not so current. I'm kind of done with it now, but at the beginning of this year, I was playing it a lot with my friend and just kind of on my own too. Um, I was kind of blown away with how much Fortnite has changed. Like, it feels more like Roblox now than like Fortnite with all like the different modes and custom game modes and I don't know. It's just different. So playing the actual season normally, like Battle Royale, it's very overstimulating and I don't know. I mean I could get through it obviously, but I prefer to play the OG Fortnite mode on there, and so does my friend obviously. So we would play that together. The difference between me and him is I fucking suck, and he's actually really good. Especially he said during his prime. Um, Dude, it's honestly crazy what he can do. I'm so impressed with him. He said he's got like maybe like 10,000 hours in the game, so I guess that makes sense. That's about, you know, they say like 10,000 hours in anything is enough to be like a master of it. But yeah, he said he's taken down pros before, which I have no reason to doubt him. He's just that good. But he says he's rusty now, but he's still really good in my opinion. So shout out to my friend for being cracked at Fortnite. Um, but yeah, so I played a lot with him. I feel so bad because I would suck so much, but I mean, he wouldn't care, man. He knows I'm new. He would just have fun with it, right? Teach me stuff. Um, but no, I had a lot of fun this season too. Honestly, I kind of forget. Is it like chapter 5, season 1? That might have been the one I was playing. Um, because there's a lot of chapters now, I think. Um, but yeah. Do I have any more things to say about Fortnite before I move on? Let me think. I don't really think so. I feel like I'd be fine if I moved on. So yeah, Rocket League. My friend also really liked Rocket League, so he asked me to try it out, and I did, and I liked it. I played like the, like a tutorial. I liked it, but that's as far as I went. It seems really fun. It seems like it's got like a really high skill ceiling, so if you get good at it, then I bet it's super fun. Just like beating up on like inexperienced players or playing against like people competitive with you. I feel like the game would get really fun if I learned it, but not that it's a bad game, not at all. Just don't have a lot of interest in it compared to other games, so I'd pick other games over that at the moment, but we'll see. Maybe my interest gets piqued one day, and I'll revisit Rocket League and actually um, um, play the game for a substantial amount of time. But as for right now, that's all I gotta say about it. All right, Wario Land 3. I have a funny story about this game. So, I have a Game Boy Advance, and during high school, I did play it a little bit, and I kept it in my backpack so I could play it at school. But eventually, I just kind of forgot about it. The problem is I left a plastic bag full of oranges in there, and I forgot about that too. And I think at the end of the school year, I went to open it up, and it was absolutely fucking disgusting. I cannot believe I couldn't smell or sense that monstrosity was in there, but yeah, completely ruined. I forget. I think the copy of Wario Land 3 was ruined. I think my Game Boy Advance was fine though. I think my dad was able to clean that off. But I, I don't remember. Maybe both of them were fine, but I think one of them was, a casualty of that horrific radioactive disaster. So, yeah. But I played this a little bit on the Nintendo Switch Online. I played like the first level, maybe the second, and just kind of quit there. Um, Maybe I'll pick it up again. Yeah. I wouldn't say I exactly lost interest. Maybe I did, but just, I was playing other games, so that took up my time more. So, yeah, maybe I'll probably someday just for a little redemption arc, um, complete Wario Land 3 um on the Game Boy Color. But yeah, as of right now I made it that far. Um, so the next game is Super Mario Party Jamboree. This was actually a Switch One game I played. What I mean is, of course, it's a Switch One game, but I don't have the Switch Two version. But I got the physical copy of it, like right here. Where you at? Actually, I didn't even open this. I gotta be gentle. Whoa. You can tell I don't use physical games. I'm just gonna leave that in there. I don't want to break it. But no, it's in there because it was a Switch One game that I was playing on my OG Switch. And that was a lot of fun. I think it's one of the best Mario Party games. At the time, I thought it was the best. I'm not so sure anymore. I think the presentation is what makes it amazing. It's like a very party-like game, you know what I mean? As it should be. But there's just a few things. Mainly with the mini games, I feel like a lot of them are like the motion ones, and that's kind of gimmicky. Not a lot of people want to play them, including myself. So if there were more mini games to kind of counteract that amount of games being motion control or whatever, that'd be nice. But and then I wish there were more boards too. Just like a few more, maybe like 9 boards in the game. But anyway, so really the only thing I gotta say about Super Mario Party Jamboree is when we were playing it on the Switch 2, I was just playing it with my nephew and niece and my family, my sister too probably. Simple as that. And all they do is play the mini games. So that's my experience with it on the Switch too, just those mini games. I think my sister and I may have played a board or two as well, so that's good. But yeah, can't say much else other than that. So yeah. All right, next up is I actually put them all in one category. Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. I played the original Mario Parties, the N64 ones, with my sister on Nintendo Switch Online. And I mean, they were all fun. The Mario Party 1 one we played on the DK Jungle. The Mario Party 2 one we played on Pirate Land, and then Mario Party 3 we played at Spiny Desert, I think it's called. By the way, the music's really good on that one. But as for the actual, it's interesting because they're all kind of different from one each other. Like I feel like Mario Party 1's just kind of bullshit. Mario Party 2's kind of the all-around one, and then Mario Party 3 is like a more modernized, like it feels more like a GameCube Mario Party game. which I've never played, but just asked, just from vibes, you know. I should play the GameCube Mario Party games. I want those to come out on the Nintendo Switch Online service. Please, please, please. That'd be so cool. But anyway, just from my impressions, that's what I think. But all I'll really say, besides the fact I had fun with all those, is I think Mario Party 3 is my favorite so far. I just really like the vibes of it and all that compared to the other ones. And then honestly, Mario Party 1 and then Mario Party 2. I know a lot of people say Mario Party 2 is the GOAT, but so far, I don't know. I like the Mario Party 1 one because it's kind of bullshit, but in a fun way. Um, Mario Party 2 just seems kind of boring. Kinda, not really. But just so far. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But yeah. So I gotta play more of those because those were a lot of fun. So me and my sister gotta get to it sometime. But yeah. So on to the next game. Mario Tennis Fever. Honestly, Mario Tennis Fever looks pretty cool. I just haven't played a lot of it. I really only played it with my nephew and niece. And I think it's really cool. I think the roster's pretty cool from what I remember. It feels like Mario Tennis Aces though, but it's got a lot of the good characters from it, plus some new ones I think. And what's really cool about the game though is the rackets, like the different types of rackets you can use with different abilities, like the fire racket or the ice racket or the mud racket or the electric racket or whatever, the tornado racket. That makes the gameplay a lot of fun and interesting. And it reminds me of the old Mario Tennis games with like the character specific powers. Like I played the GameCube one with that like one Wii, not a Wii port, but it's like that one little series they did with like GameCube games but with motion controls, right? Um and so I played it on there and I had a lot of fun with that as a kid, honestly. Super, super fun. Uh One of my go-to games I'd rent from Family Video. But yeah, so far Mario Tennis Fever seems pretty good. Just don't know when I'll play it again. Um, and honestly, kind of forgot it existed. Just a little bit, but not because it's a bad game, but just because it's kind of I got a lot of games, you know. So yeah. All right, here is one I could talk about a lot more. Signalis or Signalis, however you pronounce it. This game is awesome, honestly. Not one of the best games I've ever played, but it's very unique and I really like it. Um, I'm starting to realize it is heavily inspired by Resident Evil. Like I'm playing Resident Evil Requiem right now, which I'll talk about in year two, right? Um, but it's got a lot of stuff that I'm assuming is unique to Resident Evil that Signalis borrowed, like the puzzles, the like limited item slots and like the limited amount of ammo you're given. The enemies being able to come back from the dead. That shit's so scary, honestly. But what I love about Signalis is it's the first horror game I've played in a while. I guess the only horror game I've experienced with is Five Nights at Freddy's, which is kind of a different type of horror. But this horror is cool because it gives you more of a sense of dread. It has you anxious for what's next, like what's going to be in the next room. You know, I'm scared to go in. There's going to be some scary things. You're- Because you know, if you weren't so vulnerable, the game wouldn't be so scary. But that's what makes it scary. You're vulnerable and you're going to get attacked by these scary monsters and it's like, yeah, man. Um but I kind of like the lore of it too. It's like seems like it's inspired by like Nazi Germany. I could be wrong, but you know, kind of like if Nazi Germany had invaded planets instead of like, you know, countries in Europe or whatever. Um, but I could completely be off by it. But yeah, I like the aesthetics of it. I also like how the ending is quite sad, no matter which one you get. Um, I got I think it's the promise ending. I think it's like uh, It's the one you get when you're reckless, I think. Um, or that's what they call it when like, you use a lot of bullets, you take a lot of damage, stuff like that. Um, and in that ending, you meet the girl you're trying to save and you spend your last moments together and then die, I think is how it goes. Pretty cool. And then there's other endings too I looked up, but I kind of forget how those go. I think one of them they forget who you are. One of them I think they're dead when you arrive or something like that. And then there's also like a secret ending, I think. Um, but no, Signalis is really cool. I really like it. Um, I definitely recommend you play it. Um, it's got, it's got like a cool art style, a cool art direction. I like the enemies. And it does a job at scaring the shit out of you. So, yeah. Also, the final boss. I'm proud to say I beat it first try. It was one of those bosses where I was super close to dying, but somehow managed to edge him out to win. Like, I'm pretty sure if I got hit one more time in any way possible, I would have, I would have had to start the boss over. But, I'm just clutch like that, and I beat the boss without having to start over. Um, and so, yeah. But yeah, the boss battles are pretty good. They're pretty challenging. Um, but yeah, man, the game's super interesting. I recommend you play it. I gotta think about if there's anything else I want to say, because this game is one of my more played ones. Honestly, I don't think so. I think I'm ready to move on. So, yeah, we're moving on to Pokemon Fire Red. Um, the game's dope. I actually played it before on like an emulator. My friend and I were kind of doing a Nuzlocke, but not like a Soul Link. But this was a while back though. This was like back in eighth grade. Um, and we were just kind of playing through the game. Um, oh, was it? No, I think it was just a normal playthrough. Maybe with like just a starter. I think it was a starter only playthrough. Yeah, and I chose like Charizard. And I was trying to beat the game with just a starter. But eventually I stopped. But Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green have a lot of charm to it. It's early Pokemon, and like I said, games back in the day had so much charm and personality, and so that's reflected in that, um, you know, in the remake. Um, but yeah, um, so when I played it now, I don't think I got very far. I don't think I even got to the first gym yet, but I was just trying to catch them all, and I forget what I named my character. I think it was something funny. And same with my Pokemon. I think I just gave them all funny names, but all I can really say is it's a good game. I might complete it someday. Most likely though, I'll probably Soul Link either Fire Red or Leaf Green. Probably Leaf Green since I'm already playing Fire Red. But yeah, I haven't touched it in a while, but yeah, Pokemon Fire Red's a good game. Recommend it. So yeah, Gen 1 is pretty cool. Alright, so next up is Pokemon Pokopia. Honestly, man, this is a sleeper hit. Everyone knows how great it is now. No one was expecting this game to be like a Game of the Year nominee. No one, or maybe someone did, but this game is just good. I haven't spent a lot of time in it. I think I did put double digit hours in it, so I spent enough time in it, but it's just such a cute game, man. I mean, the beginning, it's just, yeah, it's like, how I said old games had lots of charm and personality. This game took notes. This game has so much charm and personality with like the dialogue, the Pokemon itself, the world. Um, yeah, man, I need to play it more for sure because it's an awesome game, but I really like Professor Tangrowth. I love how they use, sorry, Tangrowth of all Pokemon to be like one of the main staple Pokemon of this game. It's a really cool way to represent such a, we'll say, forgotten Pokemon. I feel like a lot of people don't think of Tangrowth very often or don't use it. So he gets a little PR boost, and that's quite nice. Plus he's funny. But no man, I love. it's just such, it's like Animal Crossing, but in some ways a lot better. Um, the only problem I have with the game is it's kind of a me problem. I like having knowledge on everything, pretty much, especially everything that I can just use. So with like the items and stuff, it's really hard to keep track of where they're all at with like the chest system. It's like the same problem with Minecraft, right? So I would have to find a way to organize it all in my head or just out in like chest or whatever, in order for me to um just kind of not feel like I'm missing something. Because there's a lot of stuff in the game, like a lot of stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot more I don't know about. You know what I mean? Like with customizing the world and stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of items, like thousands and thousands of different items, but I could be wrong. And then there's also a lot of Pokemon too. I think there's like 300 some in the game, and probably more with like the DLC that's coming out. Or is it like a free update? One of them's a free update. I'm not sure if that's the one with the Pokemon, but um, yeah, man. It's a great game. I should play it more, honestly. I kind of dropped it for another game I'll mention. That's kind of like a life simulator, but no, this one's incredible. Pokopia is definitely a Game of the Year nominee. I gotta think about if there's anything else I want to mention, so let me think. Oh yeah, I do. Hey, that's a rarity. Um, the first time I played it was actually with my friend, uh, the same one I do like the Soul Links with. We were at my house and we played it together. Um, one thing I remember is my dad made the best food I've ever had from him that day. Yeah, just for my friend, he made some delicious pork chops, like delicious, the best I've had in my life. So shout out to my dad for being such a great host. Um, but yeah, another thing is just we were playing together and that was a lot of fun, just discovering the game together and all that. We took even like a little cute selfie with each other. Let me see if I can find it. I gotta open Pokopia first. Y'all hear the cute music? Alright, that's it. That's the photo we took day one. I'm the purple guy. He's the cool brown-haired guy. It's a cute little selfie, right? Turn off. But no, Pokopia is just so much fun. I can't wait to play it more and just discover what else is new. 'Cause like I'm surprised. There's like in the second world, I was expecting it just to be like that mine cart type area, but there's like a whole lava world like inside like one of the caves. And that's really cool. Kind of reminds me of Poke Park, which was a game I really fucked with back in the day. And still good now, but it's a kid's game for sure. I'm getting sidetracked. Pokopia is awesome, so yeah, let me move on. All right, the next game I played, Hitman World of Assassination. One thing I should preface is, for the most part, it's chronological, but some, games I might have played before one another and just didn't track correctly or didn't remember. You know what I mean? So, for the most part, it's correct. It's kind of in the same era for sure, but yeah. Hitman World of Assassination. Um, this game, I do really like Hitman. I thought I would, just from what I've known from like streamers or YouTubers playing it, but I really like Hitman, low key. It's one of those games like with Pac-Man World 2 where I'll boot it up when I need like a gap filler type game. So far I only completed 4 missions. I did, yeah, just all of them in like chronological order. I did the boat one, I like the practice one. I did the other practice one with like the chess grandmaster. It's really cool when you kill him because you can send him flying if you get him in the plane and just like eject him. That's really cool. I also did the kind of like Met Gala one or whatever, like um in Paris. That one's a really fun one. I think that's my favorite level so far. Um, and then I also did um, uh, the um, the one that takes place in like Spain or Italy or whatever. That did I say Italy for the Met Gala one? I meant France. I'm not sure if I did, but the one that takes place in Italy, where you um you kill like the scientist or whatever. That one's a really fun one too. I like when the I got a video saved on here. I like when you replace his golf ball with an explosive golf ball. He goes to hit it and then he just dies. That's pretty dope. But I love how in these games you have like really creative ways to kill people or just simply go about your missions with like disguises and all that. There's just so much room for creativity and so many different ways you can play missions, and that's kind of the point because there's a bunch of like objectives and stuff you can do. That would be I'd have to spend like 1,000 or more hours in the game to like 100% those. So I probably won't 100% this game unfortunately, but it yeah, it deserves a lot of love, and I'm pretty sure I'll play it again eventually because it's really good. Oh, I also played like a sniper game. They got like side game modes. I played like a sniper one where you're like in a Russian um penitentiary. Jesus, I can't say that. Penitentiary. I think that's how you say the word. But and you just like snipe people. Um, that's pretty fun. It's very different from the actual gameplay, but it's fun to get something a little different. It kind of reminds me of like a mobile game I played back in the day where you just snipe like stickman figures. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, then that's really cool. But um, yeah, Hitman World of Assassination. Really enjoyed my time with it. It's pretty cool. So moving on to the next game. All right, Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. Um, I am familiar with this game from back in the day. I was huge on the Vanoss crew, and I watched a little bit of H2O Delirious too, and I watched him play this game for a little bit. Um, the opening segment of the game has to be one of the most iconic openings to any game I've ever played. It's just classic. You go in, you start out with a beautiful family, your beautiful wife, and then your little Timmy or whatever. And then you get a knock on the door. The guy says to get like a seat in like or not like a seat, but like uh reserve yourself for the fallout bunker, and then you do that, and then look at that. uh, Nuclear fallout's about to happen, so you rush to the vault. They actually keep that guy who was recruiting you out, which that's fucked up, man. You know, that just goes to show how not only do employers in the real world fuck over their employees, but in this in this world too, same thing happens, man. That's crazy. Um, they did that guy dirty. But yeah, so you go through there, go down, and then you see the bomb go off. Brew, like the shock wave hits you right as you're going down, but you by then you were probably exposed to like some radiation, but in the game apparently you weren't. But anyway, you just go through, you go in like those cryo chambers, and that's when your wife is killed and your baby's stolen, and that's the part of the game you're trying to find your kid. Um, classic, classic, classic opening. So yeah, but anyway, the game itself, it's an RPG. I never realized it was like that type game, if I'm being honest. It's really cool though. Like I didn't know for a while about is it like the VAC system or whatever? The VAT system, where like you lock onto a target and then you aim for a body part and then you got like a certain chance of hitting them. I think that's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought you just shot him and that was it. So when I discovered that, that was pretty cool. But the overworld itself has its charm. I went to Diamond City. That place rocks. I like the mayor. Um, that journalist, um, kind of makes me cringe, but in a good way. You know what I mean? She's very, very, I don't know if snooty is the right word, but anyway, um, I do like how there's different factions. I haven't quite joined anyone yet. Um, I think the only faction I'm at now I think about it is like that is it the Brotherhood of Steel? It's the one with that paladin dude. I forget his name, but it's towards the beginning of the game. There's like a police station or something they take shelter in. Um But yeah, I met them, went through their mission, and yeah. But exploring the world's pretty fun. I like how you have a dog. But at the same time, man, I don't know what it is, but that dog keeps fucking me up at certain points because I think it'll like attack enemies when I want to be stealthy. Maybe that's just a skill issue. I also have to worry about it like dying and stuff, so I gotta like, go in and heal it when it would be easier if it wasn't there, but it's cool you get a dog, that dog's good. I forget his name, but shout out to the German Shepherd. Beautiful, beautiful boy. But I mean, yeah, that's all I'll really say about this game. It's fun, for sure. I don't know when I'll revisit it again, but um it's fun for sure. So, yeah. All right, next up is another Wario game, Wario World. Um, Quite an interesting game. It's very, very weird, but in a good way. It's yeah, kind of like Luigi's Mansion, but way, way weirder. Um, but that's to be expected. I think Wario's games are pretty weird. Um, but yeah, I mainly play it when my sister's here. Um, so it's been a little bit because we've been playing other games or doing other stuff. Um, but yeah, Wario World's a lot of fun. Very quirky game. Um, I like the kind of mechanics of it too. Um, but yeah, and like the world designs, like with the forest world and like the haunted house world or whatever, pretty cool. It feels like I should have more to say about it. I don't really though. Let me think if there's anything else I want to say, because this game, I've played it for a little bit longer than a lot of these ones I haven't, so let me think. Yeah, I honestly don't have much more to say other than it's really weird and I like the combat and stuff like that. Oh, I like those special worlds, like those sandbox type worlds that you kind of see in uh like previous games mentioned, like Bonanza, um those kind of worlds, those are cool. Those like sub worlds or whatever. Um, but yeah. I don't really have much else to say, but I really do like the game, and I'm gonna play more of it eventually, I bet. Um, so yeah, go Wario World. All right, next up we have Pokemon Champions. Dude, I really like this because I actually wasn't sure of it when it was first revealed because I was like, okay, it's just competitive Pokemon. Why not just use Showdown? I get that it's like an unofficial platform for Pokemon, but um I feel like it's got more merits than just like a specifically, you know, oh, I'm getting tired, but that's all right. I gotta finish this video, and I still got a lot of passion. Um, but no, Pokemon Champions, honestly, I enjoyed my time with it. It's probably the game I raged the most at, just because I'm very competitive with like Pokemon. I don't like to lose, especially when I play Pokemon. So I'd get mad when I do, which is not a good way to learn. Your best teacher is failure, so you're gonna fail no matter what, and getting mad just doesn't really help. Especially what I do is I kind of like discard subconsciously anyway. I just kind of discard what happens as like a kind of bad memory, but I could actually learn a lot more if I, improve. Oh yeah, one thing too is I kind of handicap myself because I've been using a lot of like theme teams like with monotype or specific Pokemon or just stuff like that, which makes it a lot harder. But yeah, no, I mean it's still fun. I still had a lot of fun with Pokemon Champions. I paid for all the stuff like the season pass or like the 1 year pass where you get like a bigger box and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it's the first time I like really got into actual competitive Pokemon, even if for a little while, right? 'Cause on Showdown, I would play a lot of like random battles or OU and stuff like that, but wasn't like, like official, unlike with this one. So it was really nice to actually play it on console. And yeah, I guess what was my favorite team? First of all, Weavile was my goat, man. I loved using Weavile. I think he was really good in that meta, very underrated. You would think that Sneasler would counter it, but not really, man. Weavile's faster, so it has like a faster fake out, and it can also OHKO it with triple axle, which is really cool. Even like if it has a focus sash, because triple axle's like a multi-hit move, that doesn't matter. Um, and I also remember, I think I had a team that was really stacked that got me like 10 wins in a row in singles. I think I remember it was like a Mega Glamora team, and then I had some other Pokemon, but yeah. Overall, a lot of fun with it. The most recent team I used though, and I remember pretty well, was like a mono fighting team. I had like Mega Halucha, um, Decidueye, Water Paldean Tauros. I think I had Infernape. I had something earlier, but Infernape's my most recent one. Um, and who else? Sneasler and gosh, who's the last one? Um, um, um. Let me think for a second. How could I forget? Sharpness Glade. Very nice. With like a choice scarf. I really liked using him. Um, but yeah, overall had a lot of fun with Pokemon Champions. Still one of my most played games. I think it's number five. Oh, yeah, it's number five. So yeah, um, yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Right, just a few more to go, y'all. Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. This was the one I dropped Pokemon Pokopia for. With the original Tomodachi Life, again, one of my favorite games ever. Probably top 20, maybe top 25, but that's up there because I've played a lot of video games. Um, and you know, I had a lot of fun with Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. I won't lie. It's not one of my favorite games out there. Definitely not compared to the original, but it's very quirky, and that's what it's supposed to do. And I really like the customization element compared to the original. Like there's so much more room for creativity and all that. Let me show you some of the Miis I created. Actually, I'll show you one. Let me pause. Look at that. Can y'all guess who this is? Kind of looks like the what's his name? He's like that film critic, like a classic YouTuber. Um, I know his name, I just can't think of it right now. But no, that's supposed to be Junpei Iori. I made him in the game, and he doesn't have a blank expression, so you can't really tell what he looks like normally, but I'm very proud of him. I think I did it really good. Yeah, yeah, here you go. I did a really good job with him. Here's him in this one. Yeah, you could see that how that could be Junpei like, right? Um, I'm not really fucking with the like drawing on their faces and stuff right now. I'm not a good artist, so I think I only used that feature for a resident named Carrot, which was a carrot, and I just drew a face on it, like a basic face, you know what I mean? Like a stickman face, basically. And then also for making Hugh Morse, I used that feature as well, but not with the actual drawing, just with like uh making the shapes and stuff for his like clown jester makeup. But yeah, and then one of my other favorite resonants, let's see if I can find them. Um oh yeah, here's the group. That is me. That is Nikola Jokic. That is Red, and that is Hugh Morris, of course. Um, is yes, this is one of my other favorites. Let me find a good photo. Sleeping Baby. Look at Sleeping Baby. I'm very proud of Sleeping Baby too. Just a very cute idea. And then here is me and my wifey. I married oh yeah, it downloaded. Perfect. Um I married Angie from that One Direct because the reason why is because I felt really bad because she was getting rejected by all the men um, that she was approaching, and she deserved a lot better. So you know, I married her. So deal with it, y'all. You can't have her. So, but anyway, I gotta play more of it because it's really fun to see how the characters interact with each other and just messing around with the game, see what it has to offer. But as of right now, that's all I gotta say about Tomodachi life, living the dream. So, just we're on to our last three next. All right, here is actually one of my favorites. It's going up there, for sure someday. Easily probably like a top 30 game maybe someday. I'm not sure. It depends on how much I play it. I shouldn't be judging it too soon. Balatro. You know, I wasn't too sure about this game to be honest. I bought it because it was on sale and it was cheap, so I was like, you know what? And plus I heard it was a really good game from like this YouTuber called Design Doc. He's one of my faves right now. Um, but yeah, so I played it because I was like, you know what, I should just give like a random game I got a shake. Because I had like a lot of games I hadn't played, so I was like, let's try Balatro. And I'm so glad I did. Balatro is amazing. I love, I just love it. It's basically like poker, but like a roguelike. So you kind of upgrade your stuff and gain new cards as you go on and new Joker cards, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's what inspired me also to get those tarot cards along with Persona. Which by the way, those tarot cards are identical to the ones in Balatro, except the ones in Balatro just have this like they're mono, we'll say mono beige or whatever. I don't know what color. Mono brown, mono tan, but yeah, these have color to them. But anyway, man, um it's just so fun building decks. Um, ba yeah, I mean, you have different decks, so you could get like a red deck, which gives you like an extra discard, or like I think it's called like an abandoned deck, where you just start out with your aces, all your aces, and then all your twos, threes, fours, fives, six, seven, eights, nines, tens, and then no face cards basically. Um, and then there's like a deck. I think there's a deck with just like what is it? Is it hearts and clubs? Or like I'm not sure. But yeah, they got different decks for different stuff. I think there's a deck where you get plus one hand. I think that might be the blue deck. But yeah, so you start off with a deck and then as you go on, you basically just play normal poker, but in the shop, you buy stuff to help boost up your chip score, which your chip score is this thing that is required to beat each level. So it's like multipliers. So it'd be your chips times your mult. So you got to work off it based on that. So you can upgrade the hand you have. So you can get like planet cards to upgrade. Let's say you want to use a deck that uh, makes two pairs really powerful. You can find the planet card for that and upgrade that so it's easier. Um, Tarot cards help with that too. But tarot cards mainly like they kind of change how your cards work. They can make your cards like lucky cards. They can destroy like two cards in your deck. They can create like a stone card. They can give you money. They can do like all sorts of little things. And then spectral cards are really weird. They're usually like they do one major thing for you at a cost of something else. Or maybe it's like one major thing for free, like with no cost whatsoever. But spectral cards are pretty huge too, though you don't get them usually till late in the run. Um, and then of course you got the jokers, man. The jokers are what you kind of use to build everything. There are good jokers and bad jokers, but they're all pretty useful to an extent. The more rare ones are generally the better ones, but the common ones are good too. But yeah, like the legendary jokers, those are like the hardest ones to get. You can really only get them through the Soul Spectral card, right? Um, and yeah, they're game changers for sure. But dude, I haven't even like cracked the surface yet, man. There's like so much you can do, and like you can get like really high scores based on like lots of multipliers and other factors like that. Um, yeah, there's a lot I have to learn if I want to get like a really high ante, because I think the highest ante I've made so far is 13. Um, but yeah, man, overall, Balatro is super fun. Hopefully I explained it in a way that sounds super fun. Um, Please give Balatro a try, especially if you like card games. You'll like Balatro, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. And it's awesome because it's like an indie game, man. It was made by one dude, right? And with the help of a few other people. Like I think he had one dude make like a soundtrack, which is just the soundtrack for the entire. It's like one song, but it's a little different depending on what you're doing. But it's a really good song. It's really hard to get sick of because it's very hypnotic, very calming. Yeah. Um, but yeah, Belatro's king. Let me think. Uh, if there's anything else I want to say. Guess I'll say my favorite hand to build around is um the flush. Oh, I didn't even mention there's like boss blinds. So you got like the small blind, which is like a small amount of chips you have to get compared to like the other ones in the round in ante or whatever. Um And then there's like the bigger blind, which nets you more money for beating it than like the smaller blind, and but also has like a higher score you have to achieve. And then there's the boss blind, which is like that, you get more money, but there's also a catch of some kind. So, for example, there might be a boss blind where 1 in 7 cards are dealt face down so you can't see what it is. Or there might be one where you can only play one hand to win. Or there might be one where you have to have, it's like a very large blind, so you have to score a lot of chips to win compared to what it is normally. There's a lot of variety with it, and it's just so much fun. I highly recommend playing Balatro. But I think that's everything I want to explain with Balatro. And now we got 2 more games left. Oh wait, did I even show this? I think I wanted to show this. This is like my best run. Maybe you can decipher it if you flip it around. Maybe I can flip it around if I edit it. Ooh, I don't know. But I just wanted to show it to you. So, yeah. All right. The second to last one is Super Mario Bros. Wonder plus Meetup in Bellabel Park. This is one of the other games where I only play it when my sister is here. But this is one of the most fun games I've played with her on the Switch 2 so far, if not the most fun. Um, yeah, um, it's just, yeah, my first playthrough of Mario Wonder, plus also some Bell Bell Park stuff. Um, but yeah, dude, this game's incredible. I'm actually really surprised because I remember my friend back in high school was like, "Yo, you should definitely play Mario Wonder. This game's amazing." You could say it's wonderful. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to Pokemon or whatever I did. Because back in high school, especially like my junior and senior year, um, I was more so kind of playing Pokemon and stuff. Yeah, and I'd say like my sophomore year too. It was mainly just like Pokemon and maybe Mario Party or whatever. I wasn't really big into gaming like I was as a kid or like right now because my focus was mainly just watching YouTubers and stuff like that. That's what I spent most of my time doing. Um, but yeah. But anyway, I should have played it because the game's awesome, and I'm glad I'm playing it now. I love like the badges because they can change up the level significantly. I think which one's my favorite? Probably the hat one. The hat one's pretty nice so far, but we made it to I think almost the very end of the Cloud World. So we're pretty early in the game, but it's a lot of fun. Also the levels are pretty challenging at times. Not like super challenging, like frustrating, but it might take a few attempts to get through, if not a little more, especially if you're playing with another Actually, I think it makes it easier. But with like the whole buddy system and just being able to revive each other. Um, but yeah, I also like the Wonder Seeds. The Wonder Seeds are cool because they really change how the level works. I think my favorite um, Wonder Flower, or yeah, it's a Wonder Flower, I mean. I think my favorite Wonder Flower I nabbed was one of the levels in like the mountains where you do it and then it kind of reminds me of like the old Mario RPGs, like with the 7 stars, where the characters just kind of become flat and what happens in this game specifically is you get that flower and then you're kind of it's hard to describe dimensionally what happens, but basically you're just kind of walking on like the foreground of the cave level, which is really cool, and you're just walking on it like sideways, and you have to traverse that to get to um I think the other wonder flower is what you do, or something. I don't remember. Oh, no, you have to get to the Wonder Seed, I think. So yeah, but I didn't explain it well at all, unfortunately. But that was my favorite part, just like being, yeah. But Bellabel Park's pretty cool too. I have like this autistic hyperfixation, or I used to, for the Koopalings. I really loved the Koopalings back in the day. I still really like them now, but I'm glad to see him in this game. I really like the Koopalings, and I think we beat Wendy and Lemmy so far, so we got the rest to go. We got like the small ones out of the way, but yeah. Anyway, Super Mario Bros. Wonder plus Meetup in Bell Park, really, really, really fun. I highly recommend you guys play it, especially if you got like family you can play it with, because that'll make it more fun. So yeah. Now the last one. Man, I'm so proud of myself for getting this far. I didn't think I'd be able to do it today, um, after doing some other stuff, but I pushed through, and this video is gonna be a long one, but I did it. The very last game, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. This game is honestly awesome so far. I played the first level only, but it's really cute, and I like discovering like um the um how like things interact with each other, you know what I mean? Or just like simply discovering stuff, right? Like with the flowers, like if you ground pound like the flowey or whatever, it becomes like a plant and something sprouts up. Or like how, depending on the color of the flower you get, it'll make other flowers like the same color. There's some other stuff too, man. There's just so much to discover, it seems like. It's kind of like a sandbox type thing where you just kind of mess around and see what you can discover. And it's a Yoshi game, so it's very cozy, very friendly, very inviting. Very good stuff, man. It does seem like it's a kid game or kids game, but I feel like me as an adult could also enjoy it real well. And I might go ahead and see if I can discover more stuff in the future. So, yeah. Um, Let me see if there's anything else I want to say about the game. I don't think so, really. But hey, I'm gonna make this bigger because I'm done. We did it! Little Jason Tatum, whatever. I'm getting tired, but closing thoughts, man. Um, I had a lot of fun this year gaming on the Switch too, honestly. There were its high moments, there were its low moments, cliche as it sounds, it's true. But those low moments helped me realize kind of what I'm looking for in gaming. I kind of want just new experiences because I've played a lot of Nintendo games in the past, but I think I want to kind of branch out and try other games from other companies and all that because I realized I'm missing out a lot. There's a lot of incredible games out there that are, it doesn't have to be Nintendo exclusive, right? There's so many good games that aren't made by Nintendo, right? Um, and yeah, but as of right now, um, because this video was recorded, like if, let me think. Yeah, almost a couple weeks after it should have came out on June 5th. I've actually played quite a few more games. I won't talk about them extensively, but I tried out Blasphemous because a coworker recommended it to me. Um, I looked at the digital art books and digital soundtrack for Persona 3 Reload. Um, I started Resident Evil Requiem, and I also started today Disco Elysium, the final cut. Oh, and I also started the DK challenges today. Not exactly a game, but it's like a Nintendo Switch Online thing. But I mean, yeah, overall, overall, I had a wonderful experience with the Switch 2 so far. Um, I really like how I can play all the Switch 1 games I missed out on while also playing the new Switch 2 games or just the new third-party stuff that comes out for like the Switch 2 that I wouldn't have been able to experience in all its glory on the Switch 1 because of like the outdated technology and hardware where, it can thrive on the Switch 2 now. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. I just gotta remember to edit out my friend's name. I don't wanna get him involved in this channel. So as long as I do that, I think I'm good. And then maybe do some other editing. Hopefully there's enough room where I could keep an image up of the game I'm talking about and maybe a little more editing of some kind, like with I don't know, that Werewolf Apocalypse game or whatever. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. If you actually sat through this and watched the whole thing, man, you're a legend. Um, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all make my day. Y'all are the reason why I do this, or part of the reason. I also do it for self-satisfaction. I also like making content myself. But yeah, have a blessed day. See you in my next video. And I'm not sure when this will be uploaded. Hopefully, it will be uploaded by Sunday. So.